We get signal. What? Main screen turn on. It's you.
How are you, gentlemen? All your base are belong to us. You're on the way to destruction.
No. All right. Okay, there we go. Hey, what's going on, everybody? How are you? We're going to start today off with a rocket launch. Oh, this does not show up the same color that it is in real life. All right, well, that's fine, whatever. Someone set us up the bomb. Yeah, we're going to start today with a rocket launch. Starlink 6-98 is poised on the pad out at Cape Canaveral. This is taking off from Slick 40, which is where we saw 6-96 or 9.5. There was a rocket launch on this pad like a couple of days ago. Yeah, 2 days ago. No, not 2 days ago. That's the fastest turnaround. This is almost the fastest turnaround. Because the 5th SpaceX mission went out of here. But yeah, throwing it back out you watching from bed. Yeah, you look like a bear. Thank you. It was 6-97. Thank you, Creeper. Thank you. I think this, yeah, guys, that's what I'm saying. The 6-97 was the beginning of this week. Wasn't that on Monday?
Go at throttle up.
That was like 2 days ago. Guro, hey, what's going on? 85-month resub. Thank you. That sure really looks like a bear costume at first glance. We should probably change it. I'll change it after the launch, I think. Can you try hightail? I am Big Bear. Yes, big old the American bear. Yes. Hey Flavio, what's going on? Change? No, just get a bear mask. Oh, okay. It's a hypergolic shirt. I don't know what that means, but that's okay. How many launches this year for SpaceX? So the Starlink 6-98 mission is SpaceX's sixth mission of this year. The booster flying today is 1085 on its 13th flight. Are you going to stay up? Get up early for the Crew 11 return. When is that going down? The undocking is just in time for space news today. And then the splashdown is at 3:41 in the morning. No guarantees there, man. No guarantees for that one. We can watch the undock, though. Hey, Kyle. Happy launch. Yeah. All right, so we are 13 minutes out from launch. Real quick, guys, I wanted to show you this. Well, it's not really pertinent to rockets, and I do believe in keeping on track, but check this out. So this is a new picture of the next generation Abrams tank, and I noticed that it's not gas turbine powered. It's got diesel electric hybrid in it. That's very surprising. It's got an inline 6 diesel with a hybrid electric. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know how to feel about that. I'm not Is it a Ford? That looks like a Caterpillar engine if I had to guess. How was the doctor's appointment for your back? Okay. Hey, Kyle. became a flight controller. Thanks, buddy. Isn't this still in the prototype stage? I hope so. I don't... Okay, Armchair General. First and foremost, I don't think a hybrid system is a good idea on the battlefield. I really don't. I don't think more mechanical complexity is the answer here. And I think that is a really stupid idea. Like, really stupid. Just go to an all-diesel design or keep the gas turbine. I don't like the idea of a hybrid electric. That's more stuff that can break. Yeah, I don't think that that's wise. But I don't know. When do you think SpaceX will reuse a booster more times than the best shuttle flew? Discovery? A booster? Probably by the end of the decade, Cooks, at that point. Yeah. Reporting for duty? Yeah, right. I just don't like the idea of having more mechanical complexity in your driveline. That kind of stuff is why my favorite tank of the war ended up being on the losing side of World War II. I like Panthers. Panzer V's, I think, were the best tank of the war. But the problem is that they were really mechanically complicated and that they paid for it on the battlefield. But when it worked really well. But yeah, the Achilles heel of the Panzer V was that it was too complicated. And that didn't work too well against T-34-85s. Or, you know, the M1A4. Or the M4A1, excuse me. I got the tank nomenclature backwards. You know, you don't want mechanical complexity in your main battle tank. But I don't know. What do I know, dude? I just stream. The diesel electric Tigers were failures too. Yeah, that's weird. Rares, today is 1 year since I subscribed and started watching your stream. Thanks, man. Thanks for watching. Kyle, you've been watching since December of last year, and you got me through a terrible season. Love showing my appreciation when I can. 2026 will be our Wumbo maxing year. That's right, dude. That's right. That is right. Anyway, we do have Starlink 6-98. It should be... Coverage should be popping up here. We're inside of 10 minutes. Our turbine's much more complex than a diesel with an electric motor. No. No, they're not. They have one moving part. Well, two if you count the oil pump. No, not at all. Have you run ads? I can't run ads because we just started. Yeah, there we go. All right, I got it. I can do it now. I should be able to. Let's see. Let's pop it through. Boop. There it goes. Any update on the KSP playthrough? When we're done kind of binging Winter Car, we'll get back to it, Jez. Yeah, Green, I'm not sure why we think we can do better. But, you know, we can, I guess. But I'd prefer mechanical simplicity. But once again, I'm not a military guy, so I just play Hearts of Iron too much, you know? Hello? So yeah, we'll run the ad so nobody gets an ad during the somebody gets ads during liftoff. When do you think Flight 12 is? Probably March at this point. Nah, I'm not sure that's the right topic to do right now. Girl, but so once again, we're waiting for the launch coverage here. Should be popping up here in a moment. Ah, there it goes. Will you be traveling to cover Starship or SLS this year? I don't know. Hey, Maddie, what's going on, man? Ted Letars, what's up? This is my favorite SpaceX jam. Called The New Astronauts.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Battle. 41 month resub. Thank you. When will the Pad 37 or Pad 40 landing pad be ready? I'd say sooner rather than later, Orange. We'll probably get a good look at it here in a second. How's the back today? Still a bit stiff, but I'll be all right. Doing all right, Maddie? Good, good, good.
Discovery,
Oh.
go at throttle up.
They cut the music
Tanks
off.
are pressing for strong back retract.
Okay, here we go. So this is Space Launch Complex 40 at Cape Canaveral, Florida here. This is the Starlink 6-98 mission. Starlink 6-98 is moving 29 Starlink V2 mini satellites into a 53-degree inclined orbit today. So, Slick 40 is down at the Cape. This rocket will be going southeast, heading southeast out of the Cape around the Bahamas. So the booster flying today is booster 1085 on its 13th reuse. It is a teenager, as chat said. 57-day turnaround on the booster. But the crazy story here with this launch is that we watched a rocket launch off Pad 40 like 48 hours ago. There's the landing pad over there. So check it out. Slick 40 landing pad over there above my head. They got the crane out there. I'd say that's pretty close to being finished. Friend of Monkeys, 40-month resub. Thank you. This is SpaceX's 6th launch of 2026. The 589th and the 589th Falcon launch total. Strongback is moving back into the 89-degree position. Okay, looks to be a little bit of an overcast day down at the Cape today. What is SpaceX building in the background? That's the landing pad for Falcon 9s. All right, we are about 3 minutes 5 seconds out from liftoff here.
Stage 1 LOX load is complete.
Not the big building with the giant black door. That is a pad support building. Should be coming up here on stage 2, LOX load completion. Liquid oxygen, which is what's creating the condensation on the booster there. Liquid oxygen, or oxygen, in order to exist as a liquid, has to be extremely cold. So if you look at the first stage and the second stage, there's a lot of the first stage has steam coming off of it, or condensation coming off it, and there's a lot of the second one that has condensation coming off of it. Those are the liquid oxygen tanks. Rockets have to take the oxidizer with them up into space. They can't have an intake like on a jet engine, because up there there's no air. So they got to bring the
LOX load is complete.
There it is. They got to bring the liquid oxygen with them. That does make condensation happening on the vehicle, because it's not cold in Florida, it's warm. So you do get some condensation happening here. Should get into a ground gas closeout, where they purge all the remaining propellants out of the pad to make sure that the launch pad doesn't catch on fire.
Ground gas closeouts.
There it is. The building on the other side of the ULA building, isn't that SpaceX owned? That's their payload processing facility. That's where they basically, you're talking about that building right there. That's the former solid rocket motor assembly or integration facility. That's the former solid rocket motor assembly facility for the Titan program. SpaceX uses that to integrate payloads.
Falcon 9 is in startup.
Okay, inside of 1 minute, Falcon 9 has entered startup. All onboard computers have primary control of the critical functions on the vehicle. Yes, Green, pretty much.
LD, go for launch.
Launch director is reporting go. T-minus 30 seconds and counting.
T-minus 30 seconds.
No, Pantha, they don't. 20. PAS deluge
15
system
seconds.
is on.
10, 9, 8, 7.
Sound suppression water system is activated.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Next step is ignition.
Ignition. And liftoff. Go Falcon, go Starlink.
Okay, we got a liftoff. Starlink 6-98 taking off from Complex 40, the 6th SpaceX launch of the year. Now, if you look at the top of your screen here, we
M1G
should
chamber pressure is nominal.
be getting a good picture of the landing pad that SpaceX is working on over there. That landing pad is brand new. It's designed to receive Falcon 9s that come back and land. This one will not be landing out there today. This booster will be landing on one of SpaceX's autonomous spaceport drone ships, or ASDSs for short, which are converted barges. They're barges that were converted into landing pads. A short fall of
Power and telemetry
gravitas
nominal.
is the landing target today. Power and telemetry call is good there. T plus 45. Should get a supersonic call here.
Falcon 9 is supersonic.
There it is. Maximum dynamic pressure should be the next call out. Maximum dynamic pressure indicates peak aero load on the vehicle. Basically, there it is. For a moment on the vehicle's ascent, Falcon 9 can't move the air out of the way. The fairing at the front can't move the air out of the way fast enough. So they throttle back the engines to ease the load induced from the aerodynamic drag. Basically, if they kept accelerating, it would try to accordion the rocket. You don't want to do that. That's bad for it.
M back chill.
Second stage thermal conditioning and priming has started, because in about 1 minute, we'll be getting up to staging here. And nose eyes if it doesn't get boring. This booster has this is its 13th flight. They are getting rid of, they already got rid of LZ1, Rain, and they're getting rid of LZ2 soon. I think they reneged it, Sea Kraken. Oh yeah, Kyle. Yeah, the drone ships are cool. Hey Pat, what's going on? What are you wearing? You look like a bear. The camouflage shirt, but it doesn't come through on the stream very well through the camera with the chroma key. So I'll probably change my shirt here in a second.
Miko.
There's main engine
Stage
cut off.
separation confirmed.
9 engines in the first stage shut off.
MVAC startup.
There's separation. Should get an ignition on the upper stage here. Good ignition. All right. Should be coming up on fairing separation here. On the right camera, you should be able to see the fairings after they separate. The fairings are two aerodynamic shells that are up
Fairing
at the top of the
separation
rocket. You'll
confirmed.
see them separate here. There they go. Now those fairings have little thrusters on them, and they'll basically turn aerodynamic side facing the ground, and they will re-enter and come back down. SpaceX will reuse them on a future mission. It has thrusters to orient it during re-entry, and then it deploys a parafoil and it basically lands like a seaplane. SpaceX has recovery ships, Bob and Doug. But yes, those are the names of them that they send out to go fish the fairings out of the water and bring them back to be reused. Still wondering what those lights are. Something to indicate good satellite health, if I had to guess. Can't see me. Glad to see you're feeling less sick. Yeah, I'm doing all right. Hey, Sharktails. How's your back? It's all right. I'm stiff, but it's okay. It doesn't hurt. Just feels like I pulled a muscle back there, which is better than what happened the other day. A reasonable guess. Yeah, DV, I'm not 100% sure, but I figure why else would they be there if not to indicate satellite health? SpaceX would just put a damn light on the side of their satellites to show that the satellite's good. You already have a camera up there. Might as well just do that. Either SpaceX needs a third landing platform to get that LZ finished soon. It looked to be pretty close to being finished, Buffy. Okay. Next step here is my favorite one, which is the entry burn. This is where the first stage, if you look, it's going pretty fast. As it gets down into the atmosphere, it's going to need to slow down a little bit, or else it'll encounter re-entry heating through air compression. Air compression on the front of this thing will create re-entry heating, just like anything that falls back from space. So what SpaceX is going to do is fire the engines to slow the booster down to mitigate the re-entry heating. Now, slowing down doesn't just mitigate your re-entry heating. The other thing that the booster does when its engines are firing is protect itself from the oncoming re-entry heat by gas expulsion of the engines. So when the engines are firing,
Stage 1 FTS has
they're
saved.
enveloping the first stage in a cool column of gas. That cool column of gas basically is its thermal protection
Stage 1
system
entry burn
to protect it from re-entry heating. It's called supersonic retropropulsion, and there it is. Note that the flames coming out of the bottom of the rocket look kind of like a heat shield. No, this one looks okay. There it is. Flying through its own exhaust gets it a little sooty up there.
Stage 1 entry burn shutdown.
No, we don't call it that here, Sea Kraken.
Stage 2 FTS has saved.
So now Falcon 9 is at a safe velocity to not encounter re-entry heating, and now as it descends into the lower parts of the atmosphere, where the atmospheric density is thicker, there's more air closer to the ground, you'll see deceleration via aerodynamic drag here. Meanwhile, the second stage is still accelerating here. The magic number that we're looking for with the second stage usually 27,083 kilometers an hour at 138 altitude. That's usually where the good staging happens. You can see the booster's kind of jostling around there because it's a little windy, but the 4 hypersonic grid fins, which are those waffle iron looking things coming off the first stage,
Transonic.
those guys are steering that thing and making sure it gets down through the atmosphere. Should get a call for first stage being transonic or subsonic here. Should be happening very soon. The drone ship is underneath the left grid fin. If you can take a look between the waffle irons there, that's its landing target.
Terminal guidance.
Stage 2 has entered closed loop navigation.
Landing burn.
Got the landing burn started on the first stage. Oh, she turned a little bit. Whoa. Okay. Stage is oriented to the drone ship. Now, when it gets to a certain speed here, the grid fins will lock into place. Landing legs have deployed, and now it's on thrust vector control. Rocket engine is steering that whole thing right down, dead bullseye on a shortfall of gravitas. Booster 1085, completing its 13th flight on a 57-day turnaround. Last step here is second stage engine cutoff. Once again, the magic number we're looking for is about 27,080 in change. That one was just a smidge slow at 138. Should get a call for nominal orbit insertion here momentarily.
And we have a nominal orbit insertion.
See, I told you. I've watched a lot of these. Hey, Naslik, I'm doing just fine. That actually is a little bit on the slow side. They're usually around 27,080. But a 1 to 2 kilometer differential in speed is enough for it to be a nominal insertion. The thrusters that are on the Falcon 9 second stage can make up for the difference. But there you have it. There is the Starlink 6-98 mission. Another feather in SpaceX's cap of 589 Falcon launches. They got a lot of feathers in their cap. That's the 6th SpaceX launch of 2026, 9th orbital launch of 2026. SpaceX has 2/3 of the launches from this year so far. They'll have another quick burn before deployment. No, they're in it. They go into an eccentric orbit. So they go into eccentric orbit to keep the perigee on the second stage low, so it can do a deorbit burn. You could save some delta V with the deorbit burn. The satellites have onboard electric propulsion, solar electric propulsion that will circularize the orbit. Trucks going by at Starbase Live. Did you hear that? Yeah, the satellites will complete it. The Starlink satellites will end up around 450 kilometers circular. They're in an eccentric orbit with apogee at 450. So what they'll do, they'll deploy the satellites going on the coast up to apogee, Fluffy, and then the stage will probably do once around so it gets away from the satellites and then do a deorbit burn when it's up at 450. Doing the deorbit burn up there ensures complete destruction of the stage because you're falling fast. You're falling from a greater distance. Not that it makes a difference. It'll make a little bit of a difference, but they don't want any COPVs coming down on people. Sometimes parts of the vehicle make it through re-entry. The composite overwrap pressure vessels that are on board for helium ullage, sometimes those make it through re-entry, and then that's when the UFO nuts go bananas. We don't need to appease those people. So deorbiting it from a higher altitude makes it fall further, increases its kinetic energy at perigee, and will ensure complete destruction of the stage. Whew! How about that? How about that? Love you. Oh, thank you. Thank you. You're too kind. You're too kind. Do we know how long it takes the Starlink sats to get into their operational orbit? Probably like 2 to 3 orbits. I mean, Lava Eagle, dude, electric propulsion, right? Electric propulsion is very, very high impulse, very, very low thrust, right? It's probably going to take a couple of boosts. If I had to guess, probably going to take a couple boosts. Let's see. You know, 138 by 400, give or take. Eccentric orbit should have about a 95-minute orbital period. Maybe, actually, it's about 90. Be closer to a 90-minute orbital period. Let's say it takes 4 or 5 orbits. They'll be in... electric propulsion has nothing for thrust. They'll probably be up there by tomorrow in their final orbits, if I had to guess. By tomorrow. New pad turnaround record. I was going to say, didn't we just see something launch off 40? Yes. So this is coming from my buddy Alex over at NSF. Alex says that it set a new record turnaround time for Space Launch Complex 40. 45 hours exactly. We watched the Starlink 6-97 mission launch from Pad 40 on Monday. Yeah, love you. Yeah, exactly. You had your final on plasma propulsion today. Yeah, exactly. I mean, you know... Excuse me. Give me 1 second. I got a loogie to hawk. I am the most professional streamer around, okay? Right into the trash can. Oh, sorry, I'm still getting over being sick. Yeah, I mean, you know, so electric propulsion is not going to... It's going to take, I'd say, a day or two. That's just my guess. I mean, they're using Krypton. They use Krypton thrusters. Yes, no, we're not talking Star Trek for the normies. That's not Star Trek. They have Krypton electric thrusters. They work. But if you have a fan on your desk that's blowing at you guys, it probably makes more thrust than those things. But the Krypton thrusters are extremely efficient. For the amount of energy that gets put into that motor, for the amount of energy, the reaction mass that gets put in there, the impulse, like the amount of thrust that you get is really, really good. Problem is, it's just about, it's like a stiff breeze, less than a stiff breeze. So. Timeline shows another bird at T plus 53, 52 prior to deployment. Okay, so they are going to do they're going to do a circularization orbit this time, Noctilux. Yeah. Okay, so I was wrong, Fluffy. If they're doing a circularization burn, yeah, that'll probably increase the operational lifetime of the satellites. Satellites won't have much, but if I had to guess, they're probably going to do a 400-kilometer insertion, not 450. Probably want to insert around 400, and have the satellites boost themselves up to the final area, or the other thing that they could do is use the first stage to boost it up to 500 and then have the satellites circularize down at 400, which would be more efficient for the second stage. Well, that's good to know, dude. Yeah, so they will do a circularization burn with the stage. So the stage is going to probably enter a 40-minute coast here. Do you think a 24-hour turnaround for a pad launching Falcon 9 is possible? Yes, as long as they have the propellants on the commodities, Archie, sure. They're making a shield of Krypton around the planet. Elon Musk is even smarter than Lex Luthor. This will drain soup powers no matter where he goes on Earth. That's right. And on that bombshell, let's switch over to Summer Car. Aren't the new Starlinks using argon? No. They switched to Krypton a little while ago, as far as I can remember. Winter, get it right. Oh yeah, it is wintertime. Okay, so that's going to do it for the 6-98 launch coverage. I got to go change my shirt so this doesn't blend in all day. So we will have a momentary loss of signal on YouTube, and just, yeah, enjoy this tunes for a second on Twitch. Thank you very much for watching. We'll be back for my winter car here. We have to start stockpiling money for the engine. We should be able to do an engine build tonight, which should be pretty good. No, it ain't all good, Element. It ain't all good. No, I'm just kidding. I'll be back in a second. Thanks for watching. Let's pause for station identification. This is the Eric Johnson Space Administration News Streaming Network. Oh, wait. Snarfer gifted 10 memberships because Snarfer's a G. Oh, no, that's an X after your name. Snarfer X, not Snarfer Gerg. Thanks, man. I appreciate you. Appreciate all you guys. I'll be back in a second. I got to change my shirt, dude. That's going to be so distracting all day.